Gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Lucy Porter!
Hello, thank you for that. Are you all well? Lovely. Now, what I want to talk to you about tonight, if it's okay, is because I've just moved, I've moved flat, right? And I've moved from a place called Elephant and Castle, which is in South London, to a place called Kentish Town, which is in North London. Yay! Right, and it's great because Elephant and Castle doesn't have any elephants or castles, right? Right. But what's brilliant is Kentish Town. It is like the name, right? Because it is just like a Kentish town. Unfortunately, the town in Kent that it's like is Maidstone, which is a shithole. Do you know what this little thing that happened when because when I first went for my first night in my new flat, because obviously I'm a comic and I travel around all the time, right? But I went to get a cab to get to my new flat, and the taxi driver was saying, "Oh, it's really weird, isn't it? You're moving into a new flat, and you know, like it's really weird spending a night in a strange bed, isn't it?" Right? And of course, he didn't know what I do, so I said, "Oh no, it's fine because I spend most nights in a strange bed." Very looking off the fair. It was great. But yeah, it's kind of because I've got a flatmate now as well, which is nice because I was living on my own before, which was nice, but I kind of was getting to the point where I was sort of dressing my cats up and making them have tea parties. Because it's weird because I'm a single woman in my 30s, which obviously means that, you know, most of my friends are cats or gay men. That's it. That's who I hang with. I think they're both attracted by the stench of gin and regret, to be honest. The gay boys going, yay, hooray. But yeah, because the thing is, because I sort of thought, oh, I might get a boy. Because like a lot of comics are single, and I am, and I don't mind being single, actually. I quite like it, because it's weird when you're a woman over 30. As soon as I hit 30, I realised it gets much more complicated when you're dating, because all men seem to think that women over 30 are desperate to have children, like you're just raring to get pregnant, and like you're going to trap them into getting you pregnant and stuff, which is horrible. Like the last bloke that I went out with, this is really horrible, but when he stayed over at my house, he used to take his used condoms away with him. See, I know because I was looking for them with a turkey baster, so you know, but it's just kind of weird. Because I think as well, you know, when you sort of date and you're in your 30s, and it's just because the problem is I've been out with a sort of quite, oh, hello, are you coming up to make a bid to impregnate me? Brilliant. I'll have it later, it's fine. But no, because the thing is, right, because I find, because I've sort of been dating for a few years now, and there's a couple of weird things that I found, which is now, if I go out with someone on a date, the problem is, I can be enjoying the date and everything, but I'm sort of second-guessing what's going to annoy me about them down the line. Do you know that thing where you're just predicting, like, I'll be sort of having dinner with someone, and I'll be going, well, yeah, you seem nice, charming, and funny now, but the thing is, you've got a really massive head, and like tiny ears. Oh, you know, and that's fine for the first little while, but what about, you know, like 10 years down the line, right, and we've got a little boy, Johnny, and Johnny gets trapped down a well, right, and the firemen are trying to rescue Johnny, but they can't because his big head gets in the way, and then his little Shrek-like ears are acting as suckers. We don't normally make it to pudding on my dates, but it's funny because as well, because I was thinking, right, because I sort of, like, you know, when you go out on a date, because I've always thought all my life, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard this as well, the classic sort of myth, well, maybe it's not actually a myth, but the classic sort of received wisdom is that women like really wrong men, like we always pick bad boys and really unsuitable blokes, and I think that is true to a certain extent, but the thing that nobody ever tells you, right, that is totally true, is that men like really fucking mental women, right? Just thank you, sisters, it's true. I've got this mate, right, she's called Tony, and she's really lovely, and I'm sure she won't mind me telling you this, but she was on a date with a guy. She'd been going out with him for about 3 weeks, and they went to the pub, right, and he went to the loo, and he left his mobile phone on the table, and it started ringing, right, and a woman's name flashed up, which could have been his mum or his sister or anyone, right, but so this woman's name comes up, and so Tony went out to the car park while he's in the loo and smashed the windows of his BMW, right, and they're still together, right, and I've got no one, because the thing is, I think that's what men like, right? They like sort of women who are mental, but not in it, because, you know, women who are mental in a sexy French way. Like, I blame, do you remember Betty Blue? That sort of, you know, that kind of Betty Blue type of madness. That's what men really like, that sort of French, sexy, kind of dangerous kind of, oh, I'm going to pluck out my eyes and then we'll make mad, passionate love, you know, that. You know, obviously you may want to do it doggy because of the eyes, you know. That's the kind of mental that men like, but unfortunately I'm not French mental, I'm British mental in that kind of whiny, needy, neurotic kind of, you know, totally unappealing kind of way. Like, if I'd been in Fatal Attraction, I wouldn't have been boiling the bunny, I would have taken it to bed with us and said that Michael wasn't getting anything at all until Mr. Snuggles had a kiss. You know, because I always think you have to look for the good in things and in people. Do you know what I mean? Because I always think, like, my mum always taught me that, because my mum is ridiculously nice. My mum is one of those women, like, she sees the good in everyone all the time. Like, genuinely, we were watching when Gary Glitter was sort of being tried, right? And we were watching on the news, and I was going, oh, isn't this horrible? You know, you might have had sex with those girls. Oh, awful. And my mum went, yeah, it's really, really horrible, Lucy. But thing is, right, what's nice is, I imagine the Vietnamese tourist board are delighted, right? And I was like, what? Because there's going to be loads of sex tourists going to Vietnam. And she said, no, it's just that Vietnam looks so lovely, doesn't it? That was a genuine one she did. And then another one she did was when there was something on about Robert Mugabe, right? And obviously Robert Mugabe is a vile human being, but my mum was so sweet, because she said, oh, he is horrible, isn't he? But I tell you what, I really like that phrase, land grab. And she's just, I was like, oh, supermarket sweep, it's great. My favourite one, though, was when Myra Hindley died, and she was saying, oh, yeah, I know, Myra Hindley, awful, awful, terrible woman. But she actually helped me out, because in the 60s I was thinking of going blonde, and she stopped me. That's a peculiar way to end a gig, isn't it? But I quite like it.